This is my Pharrell hat. Despicable Me 2 is once again directed by Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud, co-written by Cinco Paul and Ken Daurio, and features the voices of Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Benjamin Bratt, and Miranda Cosgrove. And in Despicable Me 2, Gru, voiced by Steve Carell, has turned his back on supervillainy, and he's now a full-time dad to these three girls. But this time, this organization called the Anti-Villain League approaches him and asks his help to find a supervillain who may have stolen this dangerous serum. So he's paired up with his other agent, Lucy Wilde, voiced by Kristen Wiig, but during their mission, Gru begins to feel like maybe he's falling for this other agent. Now, the fun thing about rewatching these older movies is that I sometimes change my opinion about them, because I remember watching Despicable Me 2 in theaters when it came out, and I was just really indifferent about it when I came out of the theater. But rewatching it again for this review, I actually like this movie. It's a good movie in my opinion. It's a movie that doesn't really know what it wants to be, but I think it's undeniable that the animation is beautiful and the direction is definitely a step up from the last one. Like I said, I think the animation takes a huge step up from its predecessor, in the sense that the locations are a lot larger, they're a lot more varied, there's so much detail everywhere that's super fun to look at. The character models themselves, I think, are funnier as well, which is, for me, hard to do, to make something funny just by the way it looks. And overall, everything is a lot crazier and more imaginative. Like, there's this one short scene that involves a shark that I won't spoil, but it was glorious, it was bizarre and surreal, and I wanted more of that stuff. And they do this cool thing visually with the minions near the end of the movie, where they kind of like change color and stuff, which I thought was really, really interesting to look at. But let's not forget that not only did Despicable Me give us the love it or hate it phenomenon that was the Minions, but it also gave us the love it or hate it phenomenon known as the song called Happy by Pharrell. Like, it might be annoying to a lot of people now, but I maintain that it was a good song back when it first came out. I do think it's honestly the only great song in this movie, in my opinion. But it retains like the pure fun vibe of the songs in the first movie, and for me it actually works in a storytelling perspective, in the sense that it further illustrates how Gru's character is changing. The editor of this movie, Gregory Perler, paces the first half of this movie a lot better than how the first movie's first half was paced. There's lots of different things going on, but I do feel like the film manages to sequence them in such a way that makes sense and keeps the overall trajectory of the movie stable. Like, all these scenes feel like they're related to each other and nothing feels out of place. Steve Carell is given a lot less to do emotionally speaking, but he feels more at home with his character in this one. He feels more in tune with the character's quirks, and what I love is that he doesn't make Gru come off as like a pure good guy. He's still someone who's kind of mischievous and hates people, but like, he's a caring dad. Benjamin Bratt is really funny as his character Eduardo Perez, who is this Mexican restaurant owner who gets some big laughs throughout the movie. Miranda Cosgrove, Dana Gayer, and Elsie Fisher once again play the three little girls, and I think they actually give better performances. It really feels like they're digging deeper for more complex emotions, which I think is great. And the directors Pierre Coffin and Chris Renaud step up their game, in my opinion, as well as directors, and it really feels like they're approaching these scenes in dynamic ways. They're not afraid to change points of view, sometimes literally. This movie is arguably funnier than the last one, and the action scenes are definitely more refined. However, like I said, I do have issues with the movie, mostly the fact that it doesn't really know what it wants to be. I mean, judging like by all the things I said just a while ago, this feels like the kind of movie that would be a greater sum of its parts than the first one, but I do still think that the first movie is much better than this one, because it just doesn't know what to do with all its different elements. And for me, that points to a problem with the script and how the script never really delivers on its many plot points. Like, the idea of Gru turning his back on villainy is never really delved into. The relationship, unfortunately, between Gru and Lucy, I didn't really buy. I didn't really feel like their connection. And Gru's relationship with his kids as well is just kind of abandoned. Like, you really don't get that much out of it in this movie. So the heart is ultimately sorely missing here, which was the secret weapon that really made the first movie work for me. And Kristen Wiig kind of overdoes her character, in my opinion. I get what they were going for. I get that she's supposed to be like his foil. She's supposed to be like crazy and hyperactive. But I think they do it a bit too much, that I stopped being able to see like chemistry between the two characters. However, in the end, I still think that Despicable Me 2 is a pretty good movie. It's not a great movie by any means, but I still do think it does stuff that's definitely worth checking out. But unfortunately for me, this is kind of like the beginning of the Minion craze, because the Minions are in this movie a lot more. They do annoying things, they sing songs in Minionese that I personally don't enjoy. So yeah, just enjoy this movie for what it had before Minions happened, which I'm going to review next. Alright, so those are my thoughts on Despicable Me 2. Have you guys seen it? What do you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought. Whether you agree with me or not, please leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation.